Beautiful peeps, welcome to Out the Brew Cupboard Chatty Ramble with me, Carly of Bardware. Hi everybody, hope you are all well. Sorry, I've got a little bit of a chuckle on. I was just starting to record a podcast, and a lovely friend of mine who lives sort of the next road along, was walking past mine. Pardon me, and the next door neighbour's dog was out, and he's a bit vocal. Not the next door neighbour's dog, my friend's dog. Oh, my days. And I wondered what the hell was going on. So I started being a nosy neighbour and looking out the window. But it's fine now, so it's fine. I carry on talking what I was talking about. So yeah, there was a few things that I was in the process of chatting about before Doggett decided to put in her full penneth. Mind you, perhaps listening to the Lord might have been a better thing. Don't know. I was talking about the full moon and how the fact that it was a pink full moon this time round. And as I say, I'm very lucky where I am, where I live, and where my bedroom is situated, because on a certain times of the year and certain moon cycles of the year, I can actually open my curtains and look out at the moon, which is amazing. Absolutely love it. And I can watch the moon move over the sky while I lay there for a good hour and a half. I can sort of watch it come up and move along, and then sort of an hour and a half later it does disappear out the top of my window, so I sort of then obviously lose sight of it, or I'd have to lay on the floor rather than lay in my bed. So I'm quite lucky, but I was sort of thinking about the effect that, as my friend's dog's gone stupid, the effect that it has on animals and us as human beings, the full moon and the new moon. And I noticed this time round with the full moon is yesterday I felt quite lethargic and a bit sluggish and a bit and I couldn't sleep, but I was tired and I just couldn't switch my brain off. I know I've done a market today with the stall. And we've got another one tomorrow. We're in the same place tomorrow. So I, wasn't necessarily worried about what we'd packed. Everything was packed. So yeah, it just made me sit there and think, how does it affect us? Because today I feel really energised and happy and bouncy and whoop-de-woo and great. So it's a bit of a funny one. But one thing I did notice is the fact that because I think I acknowledged my irritedness, is that a word? Irritatedness? I think because I acknowledged the fact that I was feeling irritated, we're now going to have a bike go past. I do apologise. And then sat and retrospectively moonbathed on the bed, or led and moonbathed on the bed, and just absorbed the feelings of what was going on and just absorb that moon energy. I feel a lot better for that. So I think if we are feeling irritated with the moon or sluggish, or I think we need to sit in it a bit more, because we sunbathe, so why don't we moonbathe? I know there's lots of people that do. So yeah, and it made me just think about being a little bit more aware of ourselves and animals and stuff that goes on. So you can turn that, what I'm sort of trying to say is you can turn that sort of lethargic energy that a lot of us feel going into full moon, or some of us feel very, revived and ready to go and stuff like that. But you can, if you are one of those people that sort of feel as though you're dragging your heels, you can actually turn that around. So you can create a positive, or not positive energy, but you can create an energized energy with it, which is really interesting. So I felt the way I had to do that was by stopping. So instead of trudging through that deep sand that it feels like you're trudging through, if you stop and sit in that recharging energy, it then reverses it round to boost you and move you on. So there we go. That is today's podcast hint, is recharging that moon energy. Also, the other thing I was also thinking about was having the thought pattern of spell work. I was sat there thinking about this and listening to other things like intention and manifestation and other bits and pieces that were going on. And I just thought to myself, okay, I don't religiously do... Everybody's different. Everybody's got their own path. Everybody does their own thing, which I completely understand. Because, that's what makes the world go round. And if we all boxes full of ticky-tacky, we'd all be the same. And that would be boring. So it's great that we all do things differently. So my take on spell work and somebody else's take on spell work would be two completely different things. But actually, when you look at it and you go down to the bare bones of it, spell work, and what a lot of people go, ooh, if you said to them, I do spell work, and then you said to them, I manifest something, or I work with intention, would they go, ooh, as much as if you said spell work? Probably not. If you said to somebody, I manifest things, or I work with intention, or I put the intention in, you said that rather than I do spell work, they wouldn't twitch as much. They wouldn't get so much as a witch twitch, a good old witch twitch that we get. But it's the same thing. So then that makes me think about how powerful words are and how rephrasing things is a better way to maybe accept things or be accepted. And then that also takes me with a train of thought of thinking, as me said I wasn't going to ramble, but it also takes me to a train of thought of thinking is there's still people that I hear that aren't coming out the broom cupboard. So there's a lot of people that won't admit or say that they are pagan or have an alternative belief or have an alternative thinking process. And I think maybe if we change the terminology of how we say things, it would be better. So I think as human beings having this human being experience, we need to learn, and I'm being more and more conscious and careful of even how I write comments, if I write comments on Facebook, because we are on Facebook, we're on YouTube, obviously do the podcast, we're on TikTok, we're on various social media levels. I also do co-present a radio show on a Wednesday night with lovely Chloe and Peggy. So, Swindon 105.5. 10 o'clock, Outer Limits radio show. Wonderful guests, etc., etc. Just sort of a little plug. Why not? The more I do social media posts, the more I write things, and the more I look at it and think, hang on a minute, is that really what I want to say? And funny enough, I've been listening to another lady's lovely podcast, Hannah McIntyre. If you don't listen to it, I suggest you go and listen to her. She's amazing. And she's talking about, she's an evidential medium. And I've probably spoken about Hannah before. But she talks about some, how the terminology of things to one person means one thing, but to somebody else means something else. It's like saying you see spirit. Now, I'm the same as her. If I see spirit, it's in my mind's eye. So I might see a picture in my mind's eye. I'm not physically seeing them. And like when she says about hearing spirit, it's not sometimes, very rarely now, but it's not always It's that thought pattern being put into your mind, and then you're perceiving that feeling into what's being said, or you're producing that feeling into what is coming through. She explains it a lot better than I just did. That was rubbish. But you know what I mean. So you might not necessarily hear the direct word, but you'll get a feeling, and from that feeling you'll then produce a word, but you know what you're feeling is that word. Does that make sense? But it made me think, along with lots of other things, about obviously spell work. Now, spell work is something you do with intention, but it's also a manifestation. So if you're working with, boards and manifestation boards and goal boards, and when we have goals, we put that intention in to have a goal. We set a goal, so we set a manifestation. So we all do it, but it's just putting that spell work in that frightens the doodah out of people. But it's all the same thing. Train of thought. So I think what we need to do is try and get over this. When people say spell work, we need to not worry about the word spell, and we need to look deeper into it, into like a manifestation, an intention thing. Because that's what it is. It's all the same. It's just in what form or level you're working at, or where you prefer to work at, whether it's witchcraft, angels, fairies, it's that, it's all a same thing, but it's in what pigeonhole you put yourself, to what terminology you use, but it is all the same thing. And I think that's one thing we need to remember. It's all the same thing. An interesting thought for the day. So I will leave you with that for today, because I need to go and do some bits and pieces, and I need to go and sort my ponies out, because for once I'm at home and not doing my ponies. So I need to go and do that. I need to get ready for market tomorrow. And my shopping's coming. Hooray. So I better get ready for that as well. So I hope you all have a fantastic rest of the day, whether or not you're listening to this in the morning or you're just listening to this and go off to sleep. I hope you are all well, and take it easy. And I will speak to you again. Listen to my wonderful chatty rambles again soon. Lots of love to you all, you wonderful bunch of people. Be lovely. Stay fabulous. Lots of love. Bye.